Hello, hello. Welcome to a quick preview of our new building systems, both in structure building and creature building. So we're gearing up for release in the next day or two. And I just wanted to show you off what we've been working on. Hi Rambus on YouTube. We're live, like I said, on YouTube and Twitch, and the game is Chicken. And we go ahead and start a new game in creative. So right now I'm running through the Unity editor. So if you see some stuff jumping in or whatever, that's just the background, my computer background. So here we are in the lovely world of chicken. Not very different in terms of this part. However, for quite a long time, it's been a real pain to make structures the way you want to make structures. And we spent a lot of time tinkering with different ideas and different ways of addressing this. We finally hit on something we think does a really good job. So I wanted to be able to share that with you guys. So I'm going to grab a bunch of parts here to build our nice little homestead. I'll show you how quick and easy it is now. Just fixing my windows up here so I can see what everyone's typing. I'm not going to be, I can't open this game to multiplayer, Josh, unfortunately, because this is not built out yet. This is running in the Unity editor, so if I were to launch it as multiplayer, it would not work. So anyways, this part is still pretty much the same, putting down a floor. However, you'll notice I'm not able to step on individual spaces between each spot. So we've changed the entire structure system to work off of this 3x3 grid. The whole reason for that, you'll see in a moment, is it got really difficult and confusing to deal with the many different ways the structures would fracture. And the actual flexibility we were offering with it wasn't that high. So instead, we've switched to this new system. So I was able to build this very quickly. It's a grid, it still connects to the ground in the same way. And now my walls, instead of being placed on the same grid space, go on the edge of any of these grid places. Then I can rotate. I've also added a rotate in the other direction. So that's Shift R as opposed to R, all these options. If you go into controls, you can look at them and mess around with them. So I've added rotate, reverse rotate. We also have a life block building grid button, which we had temporarily taken out. It was an undocumented button, and now it's part of the core creature building experience, which I'll get to next. So anyways, back into building my little homestead here. So now I can very quickly and very easily build a perimeter wall here. Leave a gap here, and I'll make my porch and stairway out there. So then I can very quickly let's add a row of windows. And again, this was something that before, if you ever tried to do this, huge pain. Just really not user-friendly. So there's a couple different ways that we're doing casting. If you hit a wall that already exists and you're rotated the same way as that wall, you can see it's trying to place it all around it. If I rotate once and then point at it, it'll now try to point out from the wall. And that's it. It goes up, down. Otherwise, if it's a different rotation, it tries to go out to the side. And that's it. No other additional fun stuff. Like, that's super simple, has all the flexibility you need. Forgot to grab a door here, so that's going to make it difficult. Door blocks previously were were only 2 wide. Now they're always 3. So they act just like walls, and they also have now the fun little bit. You can pick which way the door faces, whether it's on the right or the left of the handle. It's a little hard to see with this particular one, but if you look at the left side of the door, it's there now. I hit right. rotate, it's now on the right side of the door. So I click, I place my door. Now here's another fun thing I've just added. Before, doors would always open in the same direction regardless of which side you're on. When you open a door, it always opens out. You never have to worry about, oh, is the door going to hit me? No. Let's go ahead. Now I can open it and go in. Ta-da! Now for roofs. Roofs were kind of everybody's bane of existence. Didn't seem to work well. We weren't happy with it. Let's go ahead and get this roof on here. So I'm doing this from up high just so you can visually see what I'm doing better. I can also very easily build from below. Now, before you could attach roofs on a pure diagonal, and while that looked cool for trying to create, these, it didn't make any sense in terms of how these connected. So it created these weird diagonal connections. So you no longer can do that, but it's okay, and I'll show you why in just a moment. It means that, oops, probably need to turn down the distance here. The caster can go in. Now I can just plop these walls in. I can then build on top of those walls, and the connections are much clearer about how these roofs connect to the rest of the structure. So now, before we were having connections between these here and here, these two were connected. You can see there's even a gap in this particular model, which we'll probably tweak. And that no longer is a connection. Instead, it's connected to each of these roofs are connected to each other, and they're connected to the walls on the side. If I wanted to, I could also put floors underneath to add additional connections. So now it becomes a choice in terms of how sturdy do I want this to be, what do I want my roof to look like, how susceptible do I want to be towards other attacks. Now let's go ahead and finish this roof off. So we have a couple different ways we can cap it. My personal preference is to use floors here. This right here. And there we go. I made my nice, huge interior house here. Now let's go ahead and put a couple things in here. So we'll start with the bed. So before, these sorts of objects were casted the same way. And that was interesting, but we had some problems, especially with the big mills, which I'll get to in just a moment. And so instead of these casting out to where your cursor are, if I go into third person, you can see better. It's as though you're casting just directly in front of the player. So I'll go ahead and get a good spot here. There you go, bed. You're now there. Move out some junk here, so I got a bit too much. To anyone just joining you, I'm showing off the next build of Chicken, which has big improvements to building, both with creatures and with structures. So I've just showed off kind of the quick structure part. I'm going to finish off this little house here. So, hey, my door is way out there, so that's not going to do. Let me go ahead and build a little bit of a base here. There we go. Now I can build some stairs. Uh-oh, I have a rock in the way. You can see I can't place it through that. I would have to break it. I'm not strong enough to break it, so we'll just have to deal with that for a moment. Or I can get creative in how I build this. That's going to get a little nice turn in its stairwell here. There we go. I can now walk up my stairs and walk into my house. Again, there's the door closing and opening action. It always opens in the direction that I'm facing. There's the boss from the nearby temple, but I'm in creative mode, so that's okay. Let's go ahead and add a nice little lantern to this. Oops. I'll have to fix that. I have a bad rotation. Anyways. Okay, we've made our nice little house here, and that took 10 minutes with me fully explaining every individual step along the way. And compare that to, and I made, I think, one casting mistake the entire time. We do have shift clicking, Lord. If I wanted to get a full stack of something, and this works in adventure mode as well, if I hold shift and click, it builds a full, no, that's not a stackable object. Haha. Boom, 64. So you can already use shift click to pick up a full stack. You can also use, I believe, right click? No. There's a button as well to pick up an individual piece from a stack. But I don't remember what it is off the top of my head because I so rarely have to do it. But that's something that does exist in the game. I'd have to double check about how to activate it. Okay, so we've built our structure here, and we can also do fun stuff like building a tower is now a lot easier. So I can do stuff where I won't do this full thing because it'll take forever. It's a little bit boring to watch, but I'll build a short, quick tower here. With a spiral staircase, of course. Switch to floors. I can put each of these different landings. Just one over here. There we go. So hello to all of you joining us on Twitch and YouTube. Lords, glad you finally made it to one. Didn't have to read through your comments afterwards. You can tell me real time. So now I've created my little spiral staircase here. Now I can run up and I have a little guard tower. Ta-da! And again, a couple minutes, and I could just keep going this up further and further and further if I wanted to. Okay, so that shows off the kind of the main key parts of our new structure building system. Let me do mills real quick. Placing treadmills is kind of like the bane of everyone's existence right now. So instead, as you can see, it's going to place it right in front of me, rotated to however I've rotated it. So let's go ahead and disorienting. Plop, there you go. And we want to put our wood mill next to that. Boom, there we go. Ta-da! I'm glad that you're cheering for the game, Lord of Dragons. We've got a lot of really, really fun stuff coming up. So last stream we showed off the bonding system, which is part of this build as well. I'm going to show you creature building now really quick to show you kind of all the new tweaks we added to it to make it easier and clearer. This is kind of just the first quick pass to get a few key features in. We have a lot more bigger plans for creature building later on, but as you can see, this was just really the structure casting, so I've showed you how quickly we were able to put together a really cool looking farmstead. So now let's jump back into creature building. So let me drop all these. Oh, I can put up. Oh, I know one fun thing I haven't shown you that I should with this first. Sorry, I don't want to get into creature building until I've shown you everything. So fences work just like walls. But the cool part comes when we get to gates. So gates act like doors, but they have a couple extra special properties. So I built this one the wrong way, but I can show you this will be my vertical door. Either one of these I hit, and it didn't work right. Awesome. I'll have to fix that. what it's supposed to do. Let's try it over here. These should connect. I should click one and they both open. I'm triggering an error in my open door close. Because I'm in the editor right now. Anyways, what should have happened and will happen when this build goes live, any doors that are any gates that are connected vertically like this will always open as a group, as well as any gates that are connected where both the handles, so they open together, would open together. So I should be able to, it's not working right now, but I'm going to show you what the final bit look like. Let me get this rotated, there we go. Yes, they will open both at the same time. That was what I was trying to show off. Unfortunately, I managed to break this at some point between when I added it 2 days ago and today during the stream. So yes, what will happen, it's not going to happen right now because I can see it's throwing an error in the editor right now. Let me look at what this error is. So I'm just missing, something's missing on the data end of things, so I just need to make sure that's hooked back up. Or there's a proper check for when it's supposed to be negative, because it's throwing an error but when it gets to the code that's supposed to link these. So I'll fix that. It'll be part of the build, but the idea is you click once and the whole thing opens together. That works for all gates, and it actually creates for really cool patterns. So you have the metal gates, and these are really fun now. So let me come back. There we go. I could then cast this up here, and you get these fun overlaps. Ta-da! So these would all open together once the code is, I can see it throwing an error right now on my console. But so that's the idea. Okay, now that I tried to show you that and failed, let me jump into something I know works, so I just finished tweaking it. Yes, Joey Pro, we do have more life blocks in the works. So one of the big things holding us up on that isn't actually art. We have actually a fair amount of life block art that is all ready to go. But almost all of them are adding new interesting abilities to the game. And if you looked at our forum, that's something that we've talked about a few times, how our current design challenge is designing all of the big quantity of abilities we're adding to the game. So, like for example, we have a crab claw, we have a scorpion, we have a bunch of other stuff, all ready to go. But like, hey, we put a scorpion in the game. It's not really any difference because it can't use its tail to attack. Yes, bats, termites, bees, we have all of the art for, and some have even been brought into the game. But again, they need their abilities to function properly. We've also been holding off on bats and bees specifically for the whole flight question, simply because that changes kind of the nature of the game in a big way, where if we do add creature flight, there would be very little reason why would you ever not want a creature that can fly, since flight is so powerful in our current system. So that's one that we're likely going to sit on for a bit longer in terms of the actual flight thing, but there's several other abilities all tied to various creature types we'll be having. Hi, Max Medk. This update will be live in the next couple days. I'm just ironing out some of the bugs right now. As you can see, I've managed to break the doors. So I'll fix that before I build things out. Ideally, we're targeting extend the next couple days. You'll see an announcement when it is ready. And every day, if you follow the pre-release builds at all, I've been pushing out a new pre-release build whenever it's available. So that's if you're really interested in seeing what's coming up next and playing these builds, even though they have bugs like these doors that are supposed to open, you're welcome to jump in on our pre-release build and check that out. However, your saves are not guaranteed to be maintained or taken care of. I just now, today, added the updater to update from the old structure system to the new structure system. So, all that fun stuff. Anyway, so let's jump into creature building. So, before we had a lot of, I'm just going to grab a few different types of blocks here. A lot of difficulty with some types of casting and working with some types of blocks. That's all different now. I got a tail already. I got one leg. Feather. That should be enough to show off. So anyways, so we click open up. Whoa! Hey. Alright. We got too many unfriendly creature in the area. Is not happy I opened this right there because I'm in creative mode. He's trying to eat my heart. There you go. Now you're my tamed big. What is this? A big turtle demon. You're my tamed big turtle demon. Keep other things away. I better tame this boss too, just in case. Can I reach it? Yes. Okay. Now let's get back to building. Let me order my creatures now that I've tamed them. Get out of here! Go over there! Alright. So with the bonding system, your tamed creatures only listen to you when they're bonded. So go over there. No, don't knock me out of here. Okay, now I can build. Yes, the abilities is really kind of the cornerstone for us improving the reason to build the game differently. Or reason to build creatures differently. It's very important to us that you have a reason. Why am I building this monstrosity in this way? Why do I want a long neck? Why do I want a short neck? Why do I want to use this block instead of this block? Why don't I want to just slap all the blocks together into a horrible amalgamation of all the abilities? So those questions are the big key things for keeping our head to make sure that we do the ability system right, as well as that the creature AI will support it properly. So you'll notice, first of all, a couple patches ago, I changed the highlighting method in the game. So here, let me change the time here so you can see how it looks at night. Ooh, it's blue. Back to middle day. So when you cast structures, you get this blue see-through thing for anything you're previewing, and then whatever block you highlight now glows blue. It was glowing red, however, I've also added now a red highlight for a not allowed placement. So let me go ahead and just temporarily throw this mouse on here. See, I cannot connect this, so this shows as red. When I had the red see-through, this game is currently live to purchase Epic Tubby. We don't have immediate plans to create a demo. It's only $15 on Steam right now, and we do go on sale occasionally. And there is a lot of content in the game, and we're constantly working on building it, as well as listening to you guys about how we can make this better. So you see now the highlight texture is blue instead of red to make it clear, oh, okay, this isn't a bad thing, this is allowed, and then the red highlight is now this. And I've made it consistent across pretty much all the creature parts. Now another annoying thing is when building with body blocks, oftentimes your default thing is you want it to snap directly. It's much less common for you want to offset your blocks in an odd way. So now the new casting system automatically detects if a block size is similar size in the direction you are connecting, and then it automatically will snap to the middle of the block you're connecting with. And that works across types as well. So my chicken block is about the same size. Oop, no, go away, guys. Go back over there. I don't want you. Thanks, Max Medk. Okay, so you can see that. Some people are a little frustrated with this change because they want to create those crazy offsets. However, we have a button now to toggle between that, as well as a third mode that's always existed but nobody but the developers has known about. So when I hit X, I've now activated the small grid. God, they're so sad. They're hungry, and they're just so sad that I'm not feeding them. This is bad. I just tamed them, and now I feel terrible. I feel like, oh, I'm the worst. My poor bonded boss goat dog. He was all sad because he was hungry. Ugh. I mean, here I am, a developer. These are wild creatures I just tamed to just get out of my way, and now I'm feeling terrible because I didn't feed them. Now go away! Oh, they're all... Yes, go away. What's wrong, buddy? Oh, you're sad? Oh, he can't quite reach his food. There you go. Okay, now he's happy. Okay. So back to creature building. So I've just activated the small grid by hitting X, and now you have back to the way this used to all work, where I can now offset to my heart's delight. And this is good, again, if you want to create these kind of slowly raised structures like this. It's useful. I'll go ahead and pop a tail on there. That is not, should not be flashing like that. I gotta fix that. Go ahead and throw some eyes on these. There we go. So you can see these all have the same blue highlighting that all the other blocks do. So you can see, oh, this is what I currently had selected. Now the fun stuff comes from our next mode. Let me put on the legs first. Let me smart grid. That's gonna be the same. Let me build my neck here. Okay. So I'm on the smart grid. Now I have the grid off. Complete free placement of any block. So this has actually been in the game, I think, since the initial launch back over a year ago. But the button was never publicly mentioned. It's now revealed, and you can now have free placement of any block. So if you want to get it just in the right spot, right there, perfect. Now it goes just in the right spot. It's very useful if I go to my small grid here, plop these eyes on. I can then use the free grid to stick a third eye in the middle here. So again, this has actually always been in the game, but nobody knew about. Some of it might have been used to do some fine-tuning on some of the wild creatures you see, but now I wanted to make sure everyone knows we now have a free offset placer that you can access. Again, just hitting X 3 times brings it up, and now that's perfectly smooth placement wherever I want. So I can get this tail in exactly the right position. Ignore the flashing. That's totally not happening right now. That you're just imagining that. That's not a bug I need to go fix right after this stream. Okay, so now I have my creature here, and I'll go ahead and release him. Now I have my bonded cat. He's not happy with me right now. He got scared of those creatures while I was building initially. Let's see, you're a cow. I think that means you need to herbivore. So there you have it. There's the free placement of blocks. You guys can eat these. I'll throw it though. Here you go. Here's your meat. You need to get a recalculated neck distance on this guy. So yeah, those are the stuff I wanted to show off today. So we have our new structure building stuff to make structure building a lot easier, and we have our new improved highlighting scheme on our creatures, as well as our grid placement. So again, the smart grid, this is really useful for just doing your quick placements. Let me grab the turtle legs. I know they're here. Oh, there it is. It's a foot. Done. And there you have it. New and improved structure building, creature building, all parts of... there's also been a big enhancement. Part of this structure build was a big performance enhancement with structures, which I'm still testing the total effect on. but your structures should now not lag the game nearly as much as they used to. Like I said, I'm running in the editor right now, so I have a little extra overhead, and it's still running 60 frames per second with its large, complicated structure, all of these wild creatures. We don't have plans for split screen Epic Tubby. We do have full multiplayer support up to 8 players. Split screen would be a little tricky until we get the performance even higher. It'd also be a little confusing about the logistics of that. I'm just trying to run through it in my head. It's not something we've directly planned, but we can. If it's something you're really interested in, post it on the forums. You'll see if other people are also interested, and we'll absolutely add it to our roadmap. Our roadmap is available on Trello, which we've posted a link to a few times now. It should be available on the forums. Let me go ahead and get some links for everybody watching. So this is the link to our Steam forums. On the Twitch channel, Max is asking about a reason to have a house. So long-term, houses will be your really defensive structures. The reason to build a house will be to protect yourselves from the wild creatures in that area. This is something that we need to improve a bit further. But it is something, that is the plan. It's supposed to be, oh, I'm building this to protect my stuff while I go off adventuring. No, you can't come in. No. We are also working on fixing issues like this. There's no dedicated server option yet, but essentially any game you create, you can hit escape and open the game to multiplayer. And then when you do that, you're given the option, so I make it public, friends only, invite only. And that'll determine how it displays to the rest of the world. I'm in the editor right now and on an untested, unproven version, so I'm not going to start a multiplayer on it just yet, but that will be part of our testing. You can see how all these creatures work. Is there any other questions anyone has? I'm going to go ahead and post, this is our Steam Power. So in terms of persistent worlds, it is definitely something we think would be very cool for chicken. Whoa. One of my creatures just is starved to death. Let me jump ahead into our Twitch channel. You can essentially have your own persistent world by running your own server, leaving it running. We have a lot of big things we need to do to make the ecosystem work better when people aren't around doing stuff. He's trying to back up and running the structure. And my creature that just died, now I can look. Ah, yes, he's incapacitated. If I fly through this beam over here, though. I gotta go get the relic, and then I can use this beam. Where's the relic? So now my boss goat dog has been revived, and I can reach it. That's our binding system. Your creatures no longer die. Hooray! Everyone's favorite thing. He was holding the relic. No wonder I couldn't find it. There are feeding troughs. They're not currently hooked up in a really useful way yet, Ray. Your creatures will feed themselves from stuff around in the area if there are available food sources. These are bonded creatures, so I don't have to necessarily feed them. They will slowly starve like you saw. Just essentially take a little bit of damage, but it is not necessary. Yes, you can download animals from Steam, Max. We have a full Steam workshop. So any creature you create in the game, you can save to the workshop and then reload. So I can bring in any of these creatures into this game. Let's bring this unicorn in. I'm in the editor, so it's a little tricky. Give that a moment. Might be downloading it to the wrong space, but this does work in the full game. In the live game, this I'm running through the Unity editor right there, because it just took a moment to download. There's my wild unicorn. Constructed. Somebody else built this, I just brought it into my game. And then any of these creatures that you've created, you can then save to workshop. So I modified this big turtle demon, I could rename it. Here's what its description is, and then save it. I can pick how do I want to look at it. So you have all those options. We also have a workshop for full save games, which you can use to create entire worlds, as well as a scriptable block that you can include in your creative games, which is right here. And using that scriptable block, you can write your own mini games. We have an arena mini game, for example. There's all sorts of other stuff. Some of those might be a bit broken because of this structure update, but it is something that we will update over time as we get through it. Yes, Lords, we are looking at options for how we might incorporate the workshop into the adventure mode of the game. As it is, we'd really also like to be able to populate the world with selected creatures from the workshop. Let me go ahead. Spawn my creatures here. Yeah, so when I'm in creative mode right now. So in adventure mode, which is the survival part of the game, you do not have access to the workshop directly within the game like this, so you can't spawn it. When you do spawn it in adventure mode, they spawn as wild creatures. So this was a wild unicorn. Then I would have to tame it and some other stuff. It's likely if we do incorporate it into adventure mode, it'd be something where we create a structure block that you have to sacrifice blocks to in order to summon the creature, and then the creature will summon nearby, and you'll have to defeat it or tame it to do whatever you're trying to do. But it is something that is a bit ripe for abuse in terms of messing with the whole game balance, which is something that we're working on refactoring entirely. So it's likely something that you won't see in the short term, but long term is definitely something we want to keep in mind. Right now, most of our team is at E3. We're part of the IndieCade booth there, so if you happen to be in LA and happen to be at E3, I don't know why you're on the stream, but you can go check in at E3. I think today's the last day, or they might even be over and they're flying back, and I'm giving terrible information. But I'm the one that stayed behind to continue working on this build to get it up and running, and we are just about there. And I wanted to show this off to you. So is there any other questions? Or modding? We have a question about modding on the Twitch channel. Modding is something we're on a roadmap to open up the game. As it is with the scriptable block, you're able to modify the functionality of pretty much everything in the game. You can write your own logic for a bunch of stuff and control stuff from that scriptable block. On the cooler side of things, we've planned the whole life block system when we did our, this is like, at this point almost a year ago. The whole life block system is set up in a way to be modular, and that means that people could, if they had Unity, download essentially a couple packages, create your own life blocks, repackage them up, and then distribute them as a mod through Workshop. So it's planned, it's built into the design of the content of the game, the life blocks, but it's something that it's going to be a little time before we can really expose that in a proper way to everyone, because we want to make sure that the game itself is great before needing to have tons of mods in order to make it that much more replayability value. To become as awesome as me, Lord, study. I've been in games for officially probably 7-ish years now. I also teach courses on game design at New Jersey Institute of Technology. So yeah, they don't actually explode when they die it's the animation to note that they are now your part of your creature. They don't disassemble like if I were to blow up this unicorn, for example. And how great it is that we're making a game here where you get 1 second, let me blow up this unicorn. So I blew up, he broke into blocks, and then I blew up his blocks. There's also additional, I'm in creative mode right now, so they'll break into all their parts, but if I switch the mode, I'm going to die if I switch to adventure mode, hang on. If I switch to adventure mode, and blow things up, you'll see some blocks drop, some blocks don't. We've added additional animation to make that clear that that's on purpose in adventure mode for balance racing. How does one not make an abomination? So it's actually quite easy to make cute creatures. You just have to have a clear theme and stick with it, as well as sticking with some of the cuter blocks. So I wanted to make a cute creature really quickly here. I could grab this sheep body. Those are nice, white, and fluffy. Llama eyes are very cute. Grab some llama eyes. We're going to need a mouth. I'm going to give him a goofy mouth. So this is going to be a cute, goofy creature. We want him to be fashionable, so we'll need some feathers. And it can't be. Let's see, what sort of tail do we want to give him? These are a little exotic. We'll go with a cat tail. We need legs of some sort. Well, bunny legs. Bunny legs are very cute. So I want to build a cute creature. I give it usually a simple structure. I have a cat around here somewhere who is concerned that I'm making a cute creature that's not a cat. Give him the cute little bunny legs. It'll be good to have a neck to give me him extra cute. We'll give him a cat neck. That'll work nicely. So one of the general rules for cuteness is to give things oversized heads, and ideally his eyes would be even bigger, but I'll deal with it. So we'll go nice, wide placed eyes, our goofy mouth. Give it some feathers right in the front there. Nice tail on the back. Now, the big thing to make it not terrifying is not to go overboard. So we stop it there. Here's our cute little creature. He's sad right now, so we're going to go ahead and play fetch with him. Go get him. Oh, look how happy he is. You can get that ball. Yeah, you got the ball. Look how happy he is. Yes, I remember that stream, Tycho, with Cluxina. It was one of our adventure mode streams. So now I've created our cute little horse sheep bunny. No, there isn't any options to dye the creatures right now. We will add, so that's always been a planned feature of the alchemy table in the game. Which is currently light on terms of things you can do. But we do have plans to have things. Part of the problem is how the texturing is done, that depending on how we let you, what options we give you in terms of colors and effects, how that's going to look on all the different blocks, because we want to make sure it's kind of a unified. Nay, Cena, sure, why not? And now I saved my workshop. Ta-da! So there you have it. This we started off showing off the new structure building system, which is very cool. Check it out soon. And we showed off our new creature editing improvements, which allow all the fun stuff like now to make this thing creepy. So the big thing I did to make it not creepy was to not go overboard. Now I'm going to go totally overboard. This is using the free placement mode I just revealed that has existed in the game forever. And I've now given him a cat tail hair. That's still pretty cute. The Poacher airship is really cool. Mounted combat is something that we're going to have in the future. We want to make it one of the key things we envision for mounting your creature. This will be part of our UI UX update likely, is to allow you to manually activate abilities on a creature that you're currently riding. So you could create your creature with abilities in mind to trigger them while you're riding them, so that you're, oh, I'm going to have my riding dragon that spews fire both forward and backwards. Would be totally a thing. Now let's make him scary. Let's pick a couple scary parts. Need that. And go by. That works. Goats are creepy. In this game, at least. Switch to Smart Grid. Get this out quicker. So now we have a cute side and an evil side. There we go. The Poacher airship is pretty cool. We have a lot of some concept art for what that's going to look like. But so yeah, so that's what's going on in Chicken in a Nutshell. I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream here. I'd love to stay on and just play the game for everyone, because it is a lot of fun. I mean, part of me wants to really explore my relationship with Naysina here and how well he might do in the world. He's pretty strong in terms of attack, but has almost no health, and would totally get eaten by this giant Komodo. So let's go ahead and see what happens when I switch to adventure mode. Get him! Hey, he won! Alright, good for him. His health was much higher than it actually appeared. I hadn't updated from my previous thing. So he survived. He's not happy, but he survived. Next multiplayer stream. So we plan to do our streams usually every Friday at 1 o'clock. With the build going out and everything should be ready by then. Maybe sooner. If we do, we always post a Steam event. We'll always set the event timer on YouTube when we know. But otherwise, our planned stream is always 1 o'clock on Friday. And it usually will be a multiplayer stream, just because multiplayer is so much fun to play. And now the dodo beetles must feast. Alright, so thank you for dropping by. Again, check us out on our Steam forums. If you have any questions, let us know. If you're enjoying the game, thanks so much for purchasing it. And if you haven't left a review yet, please leave a positive review. Those are always great for us to increase our visibility, as well as let everyone know that this game is as fun as everyone says it is. So again, thank you very much. Have a fun Friday afternoon.